The police station called me in the middle of folding laundry. A sock was half-matched in my hand when the woman on the phone said, very evenly, that they had found my missing son at a bus stop and that I should come pick him up. "I don't have a son," I said. I wasn't angry. I was correcting her, the way you correct a cashier who's rung up apples as oranges. There was a pause, the sound of a keyboard, and then she repeated it. "Please come." On the drive over, I decided this was a database error. Or a prank. Or some other woman with my name had done something messy and official records had reached across town to grab me by mistake. I told myself I'd explain, they'd apologize, and I'd be home before the dryer buzzed. I did not think about certain years. I have learned how not to. The station smelled like disinfectant and old paper. The waiting area was quiet in that institutional way. No urgency, no drama, just the soft grind of a printer and a clock that sounded louder than it should. An officer asked me to sit. I sat. He did not ask my name. That should have been my first warning. When I saw the boy, I didn't recognize him. Not in the cinematic sense. I noticed his shoes first, too thin for the weather, and the way he stood with his shoulders slightly forward, as if bracing for a wind that never came. He was maybe 10, maybe 11. He held a backpack against his chest like it was a shield. What unsettled me wasn't resemblance. It was precision. His hair parted the same way mine does when I don't bother to fix it. A small scar on his chin that echoed a story I once told myself I'd invented. He looked at me without hope or accusation, just waiting. "This is him," the officer said. Not triumphantly, not kindly, just as a statement of fact. I started and then stopped, because denial requires momentum, and the room was built to absorb it. The officer gestured toward a desk. Papers lay there already arranged. Birth certificate, a closed adoption file. Dates I had trained myself to describe as before and after, never during. I had been young. I had been certain. I had been told, by a counselor with careful eyes and a voice full of laminated calm, that the cleanest thing was distance. Closure. A word that feels good in the mouth and hollow everywhere else. The boy sat when he was told. He did everything he was told. That was worse than if he'd cried. "We found him at the Greyhound stop," the officer continued. "No ticket. He had your name and an old address written on a receipt. That address bounced. The system didn't." I wanted to say something explanatory, that I had made the best decision available to me at the time, that I had not vanished out of cruelty but necessity. But explanations are for conversations, and this was a process. The officer slid a pen toward me. "We need you to confirm identity. After that, we'll talk next steps." "What are the next steps?" I asked. He met my eyes. This was the moment authority became unmistakable, not a threat, not a lecture. Just the weight of procedure settling into place. "You can't leave until we do." The boy's fingers tightened on the backpack strap. He did not look at me. I realized then that he was not here for reunion. He was here because he had run out of places to wait. I signed. My name looked strange, like it belonged to someone braver or worse than me. A social worker arrived. She spoke in the careful, professional cadence of someone who had learned that warmth must be rationed. Temporary arrangements, options, words like support and assessment floated through the room without landing anywhere solid. At one point, she asked the boy if he wanted water. He nodded. When she left to get it, the room fell into a silence so complete it felt intentional. "I didn't know," I said finally. It was the truest thing I had available. He shrugged. A small movement. "They said you might say that. Did you expect me to?" I asked. Another shrug. "I just needed you to see me." That was the leverage, I realized. Not law, not blood, witness. When the social worker returned, the path forward narrowed. I would take him home for the night. There would be follow-ups. This was not a victory or a punishment. It was an assignment. Outside, the air felt colder than before. The boy walked beside me, not close, not far. He got into the car without being told. As I drove, the laundry waited, unfinished, back in my apartment. The life I had carefully constructed did not shatter. It adjusted, reluctantly, to accommodate a new, undeniable fact. At a red light, I glanced at him. He was looking out the window, already practicing how to belong nowhere in particular. I did not reach for him. I did not apologize. I kept both hands on the wheel and drove us home, aware that whatever I had denied had finally stopped waiting.